Hi there, this is Dr. Everybody. Let's take a look at Project 4. And what we've done here is we've gone out to the internet and grabbed some stock information, put it into some files. And those are apple.txt, google.txt, intel.txt, and microsoft.txt. And what we're going to do is ask you to take this information about the stocks and find some averages and just do a little basic arithmetic on it. And if you're interested, if you scroll down, I actually give you the file there that we use to pull that information down. Now this is totally just for your curiosity, but if you want to see how you go out and grab some information off the internet, here's how you can do that. And with a little bit of luck, we'll have a chance to do it later on. But you can do that yourself. And in fact, we're probably not going to test you on exactly the same data files that we have. We'll make up some new ones and and take it from there. So what do we ask you to do? Well, we give you some. We specify that you have to make some functions. So there's one function that will get the input descriptor, another one that will get data out of a particular column, and then another one that will do some arithmetic on that. And we specify a main function, calls to get input, prompts for a column to average, calls to get data function, does the averaging, and then prints out the 6 highest and lowest averages. And so let's start with taking a look at one of these files, the google.txt one. I've loaded that up here. A couple of things about it. One is that it does have a header, and when we're dealing with the numbers, we want to ignore that line. Read line is one way to ignore it, or you can say, hey, if it has values in it, the string values in it, then I want to ignore it. And continue is very nice for ignoring things. So what's in this file? Well, there's a date, and the date has a year. In this case, 2014. It has a month. In this case, it's 06, and it has a day. 02. Right? And if you look at it down below, that we have an 03, an 04, an 05, an 06. So every day there's some information about the stocks, and then it's in columns here. And notice everything is separated here by commas. There's a comma separates those. There's a comma that separates another comma, and so on. And this is known as a comma separated value file. It's one way that spreadsheets can easily deal with data. So it's a very common, when you go out and look for information on the internet, it's frequently available as comma separated values, and Python is really good at handling that. So let's take a look at starting off with this program. Now, the first function that's specified is called get input, and in this you're supposed to prompt for so in the specification, it's supposed to prompt for a function name and error check and that kind of thing. To get myself started here, just for testing, I know this file. I've made sure this file is in my directory. Remember, if we're going to read a file, we've got to have it in the same directory. And then I can call that function. I'll say fp2. So the call to it is exactly the same, and and so what this will be a pointer to the file. Now, of course, that doesn't do us any good unless we do something with it. So there's another function we specify, and that takes the descriptor that we just got and a column number. I'm just going to make it 2. Well, let's actually, you're supposed to prompt for that value. I'm just going to call it 2 rather than prompting for it. Just I'm trying to get started here. So now I have to write that function too. We specify the name. I'll call it C in here just to show you that the names can be the same or can be different. And what do I have in here? Well, just same old stuff, you know, for a line in the file, I'm just going to print the line just to see if I actually succeed in you know, creating the file and running it. Oops, I forgot to click on that. And when I run it, there's the set of data printed out, and I can actually compare that to the data that was in the file. Take a look at it. It's actually the same stuff. That's good. All right, we're off to a roaring start, but that isn't what we want to do. What we want to do is collect information out of some column. So I need to I'm going to have to collect the information someplace, and here is the beauty of Python. There is this, so every line in the file that I read that's highlighted in yellow there is a string, and I can take that string and I can split it, in this case on commas. And what do I end up with? Well, let's print it, see what it looks like. So it's the same information that I had before, but now it's been put into a list. And so if I look at my file, I've got the information for 0529 there, and it's all the same information. Good. So, but it's now in a list, and so if I want a particular column, oh, that's pretty easy to grab because that's just indexing into the list. Now notice that there is a carriage return on the end here. Might be nice to get rid of that. So let's take my line, and there is this command string method called strip, and it strips white space off, carriage returns, tabs, spaces, whatever. But it only strips it off the ends, but that's what we need here. So if we run this, now I get the same thing, and notice the carriage return is gone from the last entry. All right, so what do I want to do? Well, I want to get data out of that column. So let's grab the information in my list. So each line has a list, and I want to grab the information out of a particular column, and I want to collect it into my result. Now first of all, if I want to, I could print out that data. Oops, I have a typo in there. I was doing that. There we go. And it prints out the items in column 2. Again, we can go back and check my file. There it is, 538.6300, and there it is, 538.6300, and on up through that column. So I am collecting the column of data. Now we want to collect it, and because this is a list, what we tend to do with lists is start with an empty list, and as I go, in this case, to a file, keep appending the data on. If I wanted to, after the I could print the result. Print that. There it is. That looks like a list of those numbers. There we see it again, 538.63, 540.61, and so on. But what I really want to do is return it. Return that result. And because I'm returning a value, down here in the call, I have to do something with that value. And so on the right hand side, that function call will generate the result. We have a typo there. I wanted to have result, and then I have the R here. I can run this, and of course nothing shows here, so let's go up here and take a look at the variable explorer. Click on that. There's my value of R, And if I double click on that, we get a showing of that list, and we can see that I've got the values here: 538.63, 540.61, just like I have that I showed in my list there, and that I have in my data file. So that's a handy little thing that you can do, and also you see the column up there, and my program crashed. But in fact, that's all I wanted to show you. That's enough to get started, and you have quite a bit more information to do. In particular, this getting the average data. You're going to be going through each of these. You're going to be going through this month by month, and so there's. This is year 2014, the month 06, and you're going to collect all the information for that month, and then that being 06 being the month of June, and then you're going to start separately collecting the information for 07. And that's a nice little challenge for you. I do give you some hints about ways to think about that. And there you go. You got a project. There are sample output at the end. Happens to use this same file. So good luck with that.